Good evening, everybody. Hope you're all well. I'm absolutely roasting on this Thursday night. I don't know how long we're going to be going on for tonight. Probably about half an hour, 45 minutes. But I'm in my office. All the computers are going. All the storage, all the chargers. It's all going a bit crazy. So we're as warm as anything. I've got my fan. Hopefully we're going to be able to get through it. If you can hear a buzzing, then it's not what you think it is. It's my fan, okay? God, it's warm, isn't it? It's a little bit too warm. But welcome for this Thursday. And good to see you all. Glad to see you tuning in on Facebook, on YouTube, Instagram, everywhere we're tuning in. And all good to see you. Absolutely boiling hot. And it just seems a bit weird that the main topic of this live tonight is autumnal or autumn fishing. Doesn't seem very autumn out there at the moment, does it? Seems very Tenerife, 35 degrees at the moment. But we should have a little chat in a little while about autumn fishing, my thoughts on it. Try and get some questions from you guys. If you've got any question about anything, especially your autumn fishing, rigs, bait, anything like that, please fire them ahead down there. Just type them in the comments down below and we'll see them come up and I'll try and answer them the best I can. With that in mind, any fishing question or query, no question is a silly question here, so you've got a problem or something you're struggling with in your own fishing, bang that question down there in the comments below and hopefully I'll be able to help you, put you in the right direction and get your question out of the way. Right, let's have a look. Who's here tonight? Let's see. Louis, evening, hope you're well. Very well, thank you, mate, even though it's a little bit warm, isn't it? Evening, Andy, there you go, mate, and well done on your new PB as well. Hope you're well, and your lovely wife. There's Terry, one of our members, one of our Catch My Carp members. Evening, everybody, absolutely melting. Yeah, I think everyone's melting. We moan, don't we, about how cold it is sometimes, and then suddenly we've got this bloody heat wave for a week or so, week 10 days, isn't it? It's just difficult to work. It's difficult to get to sleep. The fish seem to be liking it, you know. I know lots of fish that are coming out. Managed a nice one myself this week, but so it doesn't seem to have put them off anyway. Adam says, evening, Leon. This heat is killing me. Prob's no good for catching either. I tend to like it when it gets hot, to be fair. The lakes that I fish, they don't seem to like the old southwesterlies, warm wind, low pressure. They don't seem to like it at the moment. It's just the lakes I fish. But when it's 30 odd degrees, I had a bite this week, 10:30 in the morning. It was about 29 degrees already. Out the blue, didn't see any fish, no fizzing, nothing. Off it rocks. Had a fish. So I don't think the fish mind the heat. The way someone said to me this week was that they think the reason they feed better in the heat, and love to hear your opinions on this, is that they're moving around a lot more. They're moving around, cruising around in the heat, sunning themselves, and they use a lot more energy. So they've got to eat more. So hence a few more bites. Love to hear what you think about that. Not so sure myself. Graham says, evening, Leon. Hope you're well, fella. Very well, thank you very much. Nigel, evening, everybody. Hope everyone well. Yeah. Andy says, me too as well. Yeah. Ronnie said, a warm welcome, Costa del Preston. Well, I bet it's warm up there. Actually, looking at the weather, it's as warm up there as it is anywhere in the country, isn't it? Ronnie, I believe that you went out fishing last weekend, or maybe you did or you didn't. I know you had a stroke about this time last year and hadn't been out for 11, 12 months. Love to know how you got on, mate. Can't be Dave 63 tuning in on YouTube. Good evening. George said, good evening, girls and boys, and Mr. Clawhammer. Terry said, one question. When at East Elf Lakes, what do you use for your setup as it's a leader band, etc.? Cheers in advance. Personally, I would use, if there's a leader band, I mean, it's a small, intimate venue, so no cast, anything like that. I would use, or have used on there, either fluorocarbon straight through, something like a 12-pound. The Calder one is pretty good, or you know, some of the X line's good. I know Tiger line's very good. I think Gardner sell that now as well. Yeah, something like that, fluorocarbon wise, or just plain 12, 15 pound. you know, ESP, Synergy, whatever it is, those type of things. I don't use, you see, the names, I don't use nylon very often anymore. I'm mainly a braid guy type of thing. Anything, 12, 15 pound, but yeah, I'll be using fluorocarbon if I get to fish that weekend. I'll be using the fluorocarbon, to be fair, so, Terry. Straight through. Evening, Steph. Evening to you, mate. Hope you're well. There's John, another one of our Catch More Carp members. There's Roger. Evening, Leon. Hope you and everyone are okay. Listening from sunny France. Yes, I know you've been aiming catching a few as well, haven't you, Roger? Fair play to you, mate. And it's evening all on this sunny day. Yep, sunny. Let's go and have a look at the weather. Let's see what's going to happen over the weekend as we're on a Thursday. Let's have a look. Let's have a quick look. Okay, so where are we going to have a look at? Just say, for instance, Oxford. Let's go to Oxford. Blimey, Friday's 29, Saturday's 30, Sunday's 28. It's only Monday it starts going down a little bit. So guys, I mean, it's even 15, 16, sticky at night. And then, wow, then we go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Warmish during the day, but then it drops below 10, which is cold. You know, sleeping bag time, extra hoodie on in the bag. It goes like that. Yeah, it looks like it's going to go back to normal. The last hurrahs of summer, I think this is. But guys, look, it's 30, 29, 28 degrees. If you're out, ladies as well, over the weekend, factor 50 is a must. I mean, I don't really burn. I'm quite dark-skinned. But I put on factor 50. I'll still get a tan. But you just can't be too careful. The amount of people that I've heard who've had problems with their moles, where they've got infected with the melanoma, whatever it's called, with the skin cancer and that, bits cut out of them and all. It's on the rise, isn't it? Put some protection on. Factor 50, boom. You wouldn't do it to a child, would you? Factor 50, bang. You don't do it yourself. Really, hat, plenty of water, and it should be enjoyable. And that's on your legs and arms and everywhere, the factor 50, by the way. Where else in the country? Let's have a look at. Let's have a look at Manchester. Manchester, yeah, up near where I'm fishing in Cambridgeshire. Again, Saturday 31 degrees, Sunday 30. Wow, that is really warm, isn't it? That is that will burn you. Look, and the thing is, there's no wind. Like no wind today, no wind tomorrow. Saturday, no wind. Oh, you're going to get absolutely frazzled like a bit of bacon if you don't put factor 50 on, guys and ladies. And it's only next week. Look, a little bit southwesterly. Tuesdays are northerly. Even then, there's not much. It's only the Tuesdays, a little bit of wind coming in, but yeah, not a lot really happening, is there? It's all pretty mad until next Tuesday, Wednesday, when it's a nice 20 degrees. Is lovely, but the night times, look, 9 degrees, 8 degrees in a week's time. That's bloody cold. That's not bloody cold, but it's starting to get there, isn't it? So yeah, have a check them out, I think. There's Stuart. Stuart is on his first trip to France. He's been catching quite a few, haven't you, Stuart? Some nice ones, some 30s and that, 39 pounder, I think. Yeah, he was really worried because it was his first trip and that. Hope you caught him on the rigs I sent you. If not, it doesn't matter, does it? But well done, Stuart. There's Chris. Good evening, Leon. Everyone on this balmy evening. It certainly is, isn't it? Anthony says, even watching, listening while I load the van to France. Traffic going to be a nightmare getting to the train. Still, it doesn't matter if you're on the way to France. Doesn't matter if you're fishing, is it? Eh? Evening, old John. Good to see you, mate. There's Alan tuning in from YouTube. Evening, old Scorchio. Certainly is, isn't it? Yeah, I bet it's hot, Stuart, out in France as well. Douglas Coles, evening all. Evening to you. Right. The topic of conversation tonight is autumn fishing. What I want to know from you guys before I give you my bit of what I feel about it is or any other questions you've got. Do you change your rigs? Do you change your baiting? Do you change where you fish? Shallower, deep, anything like that? Do you change anything up just because it's autumn or getting on late autumn? This is the way I look at it, autumn fishing. To me, September, I've always found, no matter whatever lake I've fished, that they start moving away from the margins. Sort of beginning of September, mid-September, they start dropping down into them deeper areas of the lake that they haven't really been visiting. If those temperatures drop, they haven't really been visiting them much in the summertime, springtimes. They've been favouring those shallower waters. As soon as you get up to autumn, which is 2 or 3, 4 weeks away, I found that you'll see them fizzing, you'll see them showing, you'll see them trying to harvest those natural food in those deeper areas of the lake where the silt is, where the natural food's collecting. You've got to realise that the weed is starting to dissipate now. It's starting to fold in on itself. All the naturals have been harvested all year. Naturals are coming out, and where they'll be going towards that deeper water, into that warmer silt and that, as those water temperatures drop. They're not dropping just at the moment, but they will be, believe me, from next week. If you're getting 8s and 9s, that's, to me, is the beginning of autumn, really, leading up to winter in December. So with that in mind, I tend to target those deeper silty areas, but I tend to make my baits a lot smaller. The mix that I put in is a lot smaller. So, for instance, at the moment, I'm using like 18 millers, tigers, 15 millers, putting those out in the spom and the tigers and that. Not using pellet, any coal, nothing like that really. I'm just using big, wholesome boilies, and they've been gorging themselves on them all summer. But where they've been caught and the spots are getting cleaner, I've always found this sort of time of year, over the next 2 or 3 weeks, they tend to fear those bigger baited areas, those bigger baits, and tend to sometimes shy off of them, where they've been eating all summer and they've been getting bigger and putting all that weight back on from spawning. Like, I don't believe in that autumn feeder. I think it's happening now. It's always happened. It's so I tend to go into 10 millers. I don't go crumb on that. I save that for the winter time. I tend to go 10 millers. I tend to go cans of corn, stuff that goes through them, a bit more visual, and hemp or buckwheat, a few liquids in there. That's the type of thing I do. I've actually got a video coming out for the Catch More Carp subscribers, all about my autumn mix and the thought behind everything in it. That'll be out on the website on Sunday at 6 o'clock. But every Sunday we always have a video for you, the subscribers. But yeah, I don't know how you feel about that. That's been my sort of how I've seen it over the years, how I've changed my fishing into the smaller bits and that. Also, what you'll find, and I've found, is that they start showing a bit later in the evening, rather than first thing. You'll still see them first thing, but as this month goes on, September, you won't see them in the mornings. You'll be like, oh, there's only 1 or 2 there. And then you have a barbecue, because it's getting darker and darker, earlier now. So it gets about 7 o'clock, which ain't far off. It's 7:15 now, 7, sunset. It's only 2 or 3 weeks away. You'll be seeing and the clocks go back a bit later on or forward, whatever it is. You'll see that they start showing at night. When you're tucked up watching your phone and that's when they'll be jumping wherever they are. So this, from now onwards, is the time when you stay up in the evenings listening out for where they're going to be. This week I got up to go for a Jimmy Riddle about 1 o'clock in the morning. I went, bloody hell, that was one. Bloody hell, that was another one. And they were somewhere where I wasn't. So I had to move on to them. I put my rods onto them, ready for the next day, and that's how I got a bite. Middle of the morning, 10:30. Don't get bites 10:30 on the lakes, on the Woolpack like that. So it's first thing, or at night has been. So yeah, it's starting to change. Even though you can't see it, it's starting to change underwater. Then fish are definitely going to be, or if they're not already, they will be visiting those deeper areas. So my question to you guys is, do you change anything? Do you change your rigs like me? I don't change my rigs. Do you change your bait, where you fish, the amount you put in? And that's another thing. I sort of, from putting in loads of spots, I tend to pull back a little bit now. These next 2 or 3 weeks, I'll probably use a bit up until then, but I'll use probably a third of a bucket rather than a whole bucket. I'll use probably a third. 5 to 10 spoms, bomb. A few maggots in there as well, so maybe some chopped worm into the mix. A few, natural, starting to introduce a handful, not loads, don't need loads, just a handful in there. But as I say, if you're a member, you'll be able to watch this video on Sunday, so you can prepare yourself anyway. You can sort of give the mix a go and add your own little bits and liquids in and all that sort of stuff. You give you an idea of how to approach autumn and how I approach autumn. So hopefully that helped you. So yeah, let me know down below any of your queries about what I've said, or how you change it, or that type of thing. I'll still stay, to be fair. I'm using, summertime comes, I'm using like wafters, bottom base, that type of thing. I'm not moving on to the pop-up ship because I'm starting to fish more in the sill. So I'm fishing hard on the bottom. I'm not even using wafters. I'm hard on the bottom at the moment. Right hard on the bottom. With like out the bag or glugged up hook bait or whatever it is. So because that's where they're in at the moment. They're not on those gravel patches that on the lake I fish. They're in that sill. So I hope that helps you anyway. Anthony Busher, evening all. Evening to you, Anthony. Hope you're well. Nick says it will be snowing next week. It wouldn't bloody surprise me with this weather. Another thing, have you noticed? That this is a bit sneaky, right? Something I noticed, something someone pointed out to me, was that petrol at Tesco, Sainsbury's, Asda, BP, Shell, it's bloody gone up quite a bit. 160. It was 130 a couple of weeks ago. Suddenly risen up to 160. No one said nothing. I see nothing in the news or anything. It's gone up by about 25%. Up. 130. From 130, I was paying 130, 33, 31. 161 I paid the other day. What's going on there, guys? What's all that about? Not good, is it? There's Steve, always tunes in every week. Hi from Reno, Nevada, USA. Hope everyone is enjoying the heat. It's only in the mid-80s here. If I was to subscribe, do you ship to the USA? And what's your thoughts for bait for the autumn? Thanks and appreciate all your great advice. Subscribe. It's when you say subscribe, you mean buy some of the merchandise like T-shirts and things like that? We can always find a way to ship anywhere in the world. I've shipped to across Europe with mugs and things like that. It will cost you a bit extra, unfortunately. But yeah, if you subscribe, if you're after the merchandise, then yeah, we can send it out wherever. But to subscribe, then yeah, just go and subscribe. $4.99 a month. Or $49.99 for a year, and that gives you 2 months free. And thanks for the great mention that the advice helps you. That's brilliant. Mr. Grobler from South Africa. So we go to America, Nevada. Now we've got South Africa. Even though talk South Africa, Indian Chew, Nastus. Rob said try casting out ice cubes. I'll try bloody eating them, putting them on my head, I think. Evening, Phil and everyone. Good to see you, mate. The heat has put the French fish off. Nothing all day. I tend to find that's what it's like in France. Early morning, night time, in the dark, I think. Last thing at night, because it's just so hot out there all the time. So that's normal, Stuart. Ronnie said, congratulations, Stuart. Looks like he's enjoying this week in France. Nice to see. Really nice to see. And he said, thanks, Leon. I've waited a whole year to catch that. I was shaking to pieces, and all it took was 2 handfuls of corn and the yellow pop-up on a spinner in the margin. Fair play to you, Andy. Fair play. Hope you're saving up, though, for when we go to Sky Lakes. There's an 80-pounder in there. I'm hoping that there's going to be a few PBs for that. Talking about, these will be available soon on the website. Not the left-hand ones, that's fully booked. But the first of our socials coming up, Ashbury Fisheries, 3 nights, March the 28th to the 1st, with food, barbecue night, everything else. That's going to be available very soon. I know I've got one person I promised a ticket to already, Graham. So yeah, watch out for that, guys. Me and Jamie, Brother Carp, will be doing our social event. Any of you guys that have been on the Sandhurst or the Turners will know how good it is. I expect this one to be sold out as well. That'll be going live over the next couple of weeks, so watch out for it. People who are subscribers of Catch More Carp, monthly or yearly, you will get first refusal. First refusal on the places for any of these socials. And especially if you've been on a social already, then you'll get first refusal as well, again. So look out for those, talking of trips and things like that. No Things Fishing, good evening. Good evening to you. Evening, everyone. Glad to be back. Good to see you. Ronnie said, I blanked last Sunday, hooked 2 carp, but they shed the bloody barbless hooks. Don't like barbless, do we? Guys, do you like what do you think? Barbless or bar? If you could choose between any one, barbless or barbed, what would it be? Personally, barbed, micro barbed. Put down below barbless or barbed. Put down what you would choose. If you can only use one or the other on whatever lake you fished or whatever venue, barbless or barbed, put it down below. Let me know what you would use or what you would favour. Personally, micro barb for me. When hot like this, use pop ups, wafters or bottom baits. It's a difficult because it's very lake specific, Adam. Personally, I'm bang on the bottom at the moment. Floaters, don't get me wrong, floater fishing, love it all day long in this sort of weather. But I would be bang where the food is. In the weed, there's got to be lots of spots at the moment which are cleaned out. Be fishing those still, so I'll be getting bites on them. But I'll be tending to go for the silt, more siltier spots now onwards. Don't ignore a zig as well. Don't ignore a zig. Even though they're more of a spring-winter tactic, you can use them all year round. Andy said, I used a Gemini leader at Cromwell because of the ban on leaders. I asked permission before they said they were fine to use. Ah, there you go. So it might be that those Gemini leaders or some type of leader would be all right at East Elf. I doubt it, but you never know. John said, like your Indian approach to Bremit, wow, must have been really special fishing there. How about a social out? I know, dream on. What if we could arrange it? Definitely. I mean, it was bloody, how many years ago? 15 years ago now, when I was young and handsome and not as about freestone lighter. I had the chance to go to Redmere for a weekend. I think it was 2 nights or 3 nights we did. Absolutely loved it. It was just nice being there. I was in the haunted, but I was in Pitchfords or something like that, and I was in the haunted, the bit that's meant to be haunted, and I did a night in there. And I caught one on a zig, believe it or not. It's quite a deep bit of the lake. I caught one on a zig. It's opposite where the pontoon is, wherever you know it. A couple of swims up from there. And thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a great time, had by all. And I would love to go back again at some point. Just the atmosphere was brilliant, you know. It was one of the first weeks, I think, as well. The atmosphere was really, really good. So, John, I might try and find out, to be fair, mate, a Redmere, if we can book that up as a social. It'd be great, wouldn't it? Andy said, also I caught a new PB on the goodie bag I got from you and Jamie. Look at that, how about that? At the Sanders Soak, use the tubing from Nash. There you go. See? There you go. Fair play, Andy. Fair play, mate. See, it come in handy. I know a few of the guys caught on the yellow pop-ups, the CC Moore ones, at Turner's and a few of the other lakes that we've done them at. John said I had 2 28 commas on Monday night. Couldn't get any photos. They were just mental on the cradle. Had to put them back straight away. Must be all that testosterone still with that heat, I reckon. There's Tim Marshall, Lil from very hot North Carolina. Look. Someone else can't wait for France in October. I bet you bloody can't, from a very hot North Carolina, Tim. Bloody hell, we've got people from all over the world, haven't we? Got some in France as well. Mr. Kite comes on. He comes from France. Ronnie said, I will change the pop-ups once the leaves drop. Exactly my thoughts, Ronnie. It still feels like summer at the moment, yes. As soon as them leaves start dropping about November, October, November, then that's when I start going on the pop-ups, definitely. That's a great way to look at it, Ronnie. As soon as them leaves start to drop. And what I always do about October, mid-October also, is I will start mixing in my winter bait. So for instance, at the moment I'm using Pacific tuna and the Pro Stim liver. I'm mixing them together. I'm using different hook baits from both of those flavours. And what happens is about October, last week of October, whenever it starts getting really cold, I'll come off the Pacific tuna and I'll add in the live system wherever I'm fishing and start introducing that. And then we'll go to crumb about December time. Liquids, liver. You know, there's loads of things you can do throughout the year to keep changing it up. And if you really think about it and the reason why you're doing them, it's like obvious. It's like, well, look, you know, just say using crumb in the winter time rather than whole boilies. The water is a lot colder. The fish's temperature and their ability to digest food so much difficult as it gets colder. Liquids, things like liver, which they need, not just like, they need what's in that liver to help them get through that winter. and the crumb has got all the nice bits and pieces in it, not like a boil. Even a 10mm boilie, something like that, it's going to take a lot longer to break down and go into the water column rather than the crumb, which is going to dissipate everywhere. With them liquids in and a bit of alcohol in there, a bit of vodka. If you ever watch any of my videos, you'll know I put a little bit of vodka in there. Yeah, and it all dissipates, and you'll get more bites. So it makes sense, doesn't it? It's loads we can do throughout the year. So hopefully we'll be going through these stages and questions and answers throughout that forever. Doing these lives where I should be able to help you guys who are fishing their first winter or think, oh yeah, maybe I'll try that, and we can help each other that way, can't we? So very good, Richard. I like that. Rich Brown says, even all sweat on, most definitely. Look, I've got me fan going. If you can hear it, it's fine. Not as fast as it used to be for some reason. I'm just having to keep that on just to keep it a little bit sensible, so I'm not getting too bloody hot. I've got another fan on in the background. Let me just have a little drink. Oh, God, I needed that. Wet the old whistle. I've already been moaning about the bloody cold soon as well, haven't we? And I've had trouble getting a bite off the carp, so I've been float fishing with worms for cats. And several to over £20. Good fun. I can imagine float fishing for the cats over £20 with worms. Bloody hell, I bet they go like crazy on a float rod on that. I bet they do. Simon Rackman from YouTube. Hi Leon. You would say that generally wafters will catch more carp than pop-ups. What are your thoughts? Depends in the situation. I would never say one bait catches more fish than the other. One presentation. It's horses for courses. Wafters I like using with a stiffer type rig. I want it to go back up in that mouth quicker, like a D rig. Wafters are perfect hook bait to use. Bottom bait I like to use with like a braid or coated braid, but normally a supple braid. I want a snowman or a bottom bait straight out the bag. Pop-ups I like using with like hinge rig or like 360 or something like that, with a stiff boom, with a supple bit at the end. You know, it's horses for courses, so I would never say, oh, wafter's better to catch more fish, because it depends on the rig you're using, depends on the lake you're fishing, depends on what you're fishing over. Every type of hook bait, pop-up, wafter, bottom bait, tiger, zig, you know, floater, it comes into its own at some point throughout the season. Some more than others, some less than others on different lakes. So I can't generalise or say, well, these work better. It's just not the way it is. So that's what's brilliant about this sport. It's not one thing fits all. It's forever changing. Lakes change year on, year out. It makes it just a challenge all the time. Hope that sort of answers your question, Simon. Just have confidence in what you're doing. Confidence will catch you more fish than any super rig, any bait, any baiting situation, any rod, any umbrella, anything. But having the confidence in what you're doing catches me all my fish. I'm confident in what I'm using. Doesn't matter if no one else likes it. I'm confident, and it puts more fish on the bank. 100%. You've heard that old thing, haven't you, about a footballer, you know, stopped scoring goals. He's no good anymore. Well, he's lost his confidence. Doesn't mean he's a bad player. You can see him, as soon as they get the confidence bank, bang, 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 they're banging in the goals again. So it doesn't mean that they become a lesser player. It just means they've lost their confidence, been able to do what they're good at. So hopefully that helped you. Guys, give us a thumbs up. If you like the content that I produce for you, give us a thumbs up. Give us a heart, give us a thumbs up. Depends on where you are, on YouTube, on whatever. Yeah, show some love. Bloody hell, it's hot. We've done half an hour already and I'm sweating up here. I don't know how much longer I'm going to go on for. Nick said, can you still use tiger nuts in autumn winter? Most definitely, yes. Some of the most successful anglers I know still use tiger nuts in winter. Look at it this way. Now, there's two types of tiger nuts that I use, okay? Within about 4 days, if you're making your own tigers or you've bought a tub of tigers, I'm not talking about tigers which are shelf life, they've got lots of salt in them and things like that. I'm talking about tigers where you've boiled them up. Go and have a look at some of my Burko boiler or cooking up tigers videos on the Catch More Carp website. about 4 days, they start going gluppies. All them sugars start coming out. Now, those sugars, highly attractive to the carp. Even more so, you would have thought, in the winter time, wouldn't you? The sweetness, you know, we use sweet pop-ups, don't we, a lot of the time in the winter. You know, sweet stuff works well. Like a nice bit of sweetness in the winter helps, you know, because it represents energy. Doesn't it? Like sugars and that represent energy to the fish and to everyone else. We tend to like a bit of chocolate in the winter, well, all the bloody time. I do. And I use, after about 7 days, they start losing that gloopiness, and that sugar, just like beer, turns to sort of like an alcohol. So I like using them at the different stages. So I either use them straight away after 3 or 4 days when they're gloopy and sugary in the winter. We're talking about tigers. Or I use them a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, 3 months down the line when they've turned into alcohol. You know, that sugars have turned into alcohol. I swear if you drank it, you'd be high on the tiger nut juice, I tell you, that comes out. So you've got both factors there. Fish love alcohol. They really do. They love it. Because it dissipates into the water column in the winter a lot more. You ask any old school angler, they use like, well, look Baileys. Look some of the guys, they use Baileys, as in their little stick mixes, things like that. It's got that bit of alcohol going into the water. It goes through, it dissipates, emulsifies into the water so much better than anything else, I believe. So I like to use tigers, and specifically the juice, in my stick mixes and my crumb in the winter time. So answer to your question, Nick, 100% yes. But you won't see many people doing it, which is always a good sign that it bloody works quite well. Richard Southam, hi Lil, Fire in the Frontier. Yeah, that was about a year ago now we did that, didn't we? Fire in the Frontier. Terry, 151 here. Your Kent boys always pay top dollar. John said, me and a friend did a session last winter on a busy day ticket water. I went with a bait approach. My friend was casting singles. He outfished me. Most definitely. It can be one of the best tactics I've found in the winter time. Less is more in the winter. You've got to use something which is highly attractive. I like using singles, like a single white or single washed out pink Northern Special. I mean, what's it mainly I do? The IBs, and there's Booker Berries by Sticky, which I actually invented. I gave them that recipe. You know, there's lots of different. DNA do one as well. Nash do the like the strawberry, whatever it is. They, you know, there's all really good ones that work when in the winter as a single up bait. I load mine up with sugars and like the Northern Special booster liquid, so it's pumping out all the time. I load it up. I start doing it now. I start getting my pots and start putting in my Northern Specials and my liquids in there. Load up. You can get 2 pots in there. And loading them up and glugging them, having them on my desk, turning them around, all that type of stuff. I start preparing now. Again, there's loads of videos that I've done on the website about this, how to go about preparing this. That's what I do. So I like singles, but I like fishing them over either in bags, or a little 360, or a little stiff 360, and you know, like hemp, corn, boilie crumb, liquid liver in there, a bit of alcohol in there, a bit of vodka in there, that type of stuff. You know, over like 3 or 4 spoms, or 1 spom if you're really accurate, get one out there, or PVA bag, or anything like that. Just less is more, lots of attraction, nothing for them to eat apart from yoke bait, and I've found it does very, very well. So doesn't surprise me on a busy day ticket water that singles did really well in the winter. That's probably the reason why. Hopefully I've explained a bit there. Evening, Christopher, good to see you, mate. Hope you're well. Adam says microbarbed. Yeah, microbarbed for me. Andy says microbarbed as well. Yeah. Roger says microbarbed. Sweating up here. Barbed all day long. Ronnie says barbed defo. Yeah, look, most of the people there were getting barbed. John says barbed. You know my feelings about barbed stuff. The Norton. I'll probably say we at our Norton Disney Turners Lake social that we had, a lot of the guys on here were at the social. I would say at least the same amount that we hooked, we lost, probably more, because of the barbless hook rule. That's the rules. That's just the way it is. I'm not moaning about that, but it just shows you how many fish were lost. I reckon a lot of fish. would have made people's weekend that we had over there. Instead of it been really good, it would have been excessively good, because everyone would have had 3 or 4 fish. Unfortunately, quite a few were lost. And I know, John, you lost about 4 or 5, didn't you, mate? Phil says barbed. Graham says barbed. Tim says barbed. Sharp barbed always, yeah. I like the micro barb, to be fair. Barb looks for me. Matthew, John, micro barb. Andy says, you got any more socials this year? I think it's getting a bit like, after this November one, it's getting a bit like, will people come? You know, I mean, I could do one sort of like 3/4 the way through November. Probably at East Delph again, be a perfect place to do another one. But I'm not sure people would want to come. I don't know if we'd fill it. That's the thing. I might just put it out there and see if people want to fill it. Because we have such a good time, don't we? Micro barb, if I can, but can't on my current water. Micro barb's one for me. As I said, barbs all day long. It's no fun getting a barb hook out your finger. No, very, very true. No fun getting a barb hook out your finger. And I have had to get a couple out over the years. So there is that. I didn't think about that. Dean Peter here. Hi there, everyone. It's been a while. I hope everyone's well. Very well. I hope you are as well, Dean. I have maximum confidence in my bottom bait wafter rig. But what would you recommend as a pop-up rig? I would recommend as a pop-up rig, even though I don't use it myself, I don't think you can go wrong with the Ronnie. I really don't. Casts anywhere, presents itself, especially if you fish it on a helicopter. Really, really good effector. If you're just looking for an easy to use, non-tangle, everyday pop-up rig, as I say, even though I don't use it, I don't think you're going to get a lot better for that type of fishing than your Ronnie. I really don't. Ronnie said, from one Ronnie to another Ronnie, I've just started spraying up my license blades today, ready for the autumn. Yep, most definitely. Good evening, talking about Ian from France. Evening, mate, hope you're well. What's it like over there heat-wise? Is it absolutely scorchio as well, mate? Kevin on YouTube says, hi all, had a brace of 33-pound mirrors and commas, fishing edge of pads and waft the top with yellow, other spread of chops and whole 18mm boilies. Common was my new PP. Fair play. Fair play. Well done, mate. Evening to you, sir, as well. Here's Ed, one of our newer members on the Catch More Car. Evening, mate. Sorry I'm a bit late. No problem at all. Guys, never be sorry that you're late or you missed the lives. It's just good to have you all here and contributing and helping you. Rob said hemp is good in winter. Yes, very, very good. I like hemp and buckwheat. Buckwheat I found is very good in winter as well. But hemp, even though it's an oil, got a very high boiling point, and it's very, very good as well. Very good, the hemp. I always have hemp in my mixes in the winter. Tim says catch and tigers right down to 5 to 6 water temperature, most definitely. Microbarbed all day long. Christopher says. Andy said buying a Burko board and all this in May is going to make my own. It's 100%, 100%, Andy. For the amount you can buy a sack of maize from and buy Burko, it's going to be £100 for the Burko. But over time, over years, if you look after the Burko, if you look at those videos I've done, it shows you how to look after the Burko. And it's going to trip out on the bottom and things like that. You get that grunge, you clean it well, look after it. It lasts you forever. And in the long run, if you're doing lots of bait, like for France and baiting campaigns, using a Burko's got to be the way forward, surely, isn't it? It's nice to have a few tubs and other stuff in the back of the van ready if you need it. But if you're, especially in this day and age where money's tight and that, then, Burko's, get on the Burko, We've got a few videos on there about how to cook your particles in the Burko on the Catch My Carp website. I've also got 2 more videos to be filmed. One's about doing peanuts in the Burko. The other one's about doing flaked maize in the Burko. So they'll be coming over the next month as well. Alan, do you ever use black tiger? Yes, I do. With my normal tigers, and then I have a handful of black tigers in. Black tigers depends on my hook baits. I have been using this summer a 18mm bottom bait and a black tiger on top, or a normal tiger on top, and the black tigers have done me more bites. So yeah, I was a little bit different. Give them a go, definitely. Christopher said, what's a good distance spot braid, guys? Need to change it. The one I use, the one I like, and I can recommend, is the Avid Spod. I use the Avid Spod reel, and I think it's 300 metres of their spomming line, their yellow one or their green one I use. I'm a spommer and my marker. Can't fault it, but every 3 years I have to change it. And their reels, the Spod reel that I use, they're brilliant and cost effective in the long run. So yeah, Christopher, definitely the Avid one. And he said, might try some vodka. Definitely. Honestly, it works. Tim says, yep, gloppy sweet. Ken said, evening, late walk through with the dog. No problem at all. Good to see you. Graham Parker news of hand pink waving. Graham says. Clem Clements, the Dynamite 2 litre jars go like that. I open the jar 2 days before I go and it goes gloppy. Then a couple of days after stinks of beer. Definitely, you can use them at both levels of those. Never chuck your particles away, guys. If you're a member of the Catch More Carp and you've looked at how to make particle videos, you'll see I never chuck the particles away. I've got particles that are 6 months old sitting outside in the bait shed at the moment, which I will use this winter because they go on a different level. Honestly, it's horrible. It's got blue on it, the maize and that. Take the blue off, wipe around the edges, good to go. The alcohol in them. Honestly, never throw them particles away. Cook your own and never throw them away. Evening, Declan. Good to see you, mate. Bloody hell, 45 minutes in. Put cider in your particles. There you go, you see. Put cider in your particles. Andy said that he has lost 14 fish in a 48-hour trip to Norton before. Wow. That's crazy, isn't it? Ed said, microbarbed all day long. Yep, Ed. Rich said, I love the fish sanders. Well, Rich, we have got... I'm not sure. I think it possibly will be booked out. It depends, but you will get refusal as well if it doesn't get booked out, Rich. On the end, the 28th to the 1st of April. 28th of March to 1st of April. I think it's 15 swims we've got. It's 3 nights this time. That would be released soon as well for you guys to book up. I'm going to release it first to people who've already been on it. I'll be asking them first. Then it'll be to you guys. And then out to the wider audience if we need to. Terry said, what's your approach to a big lake or a reservoir with no feature? Would you just follow the wind? One, I would follow the wind. They usually tend to get on the wind. These big featureless reservoirs, they do tend to get on the wind. Two, I'd make the feature my bait. So in other words, cheap bait, flake maize, pellet, buckwheat. I'll be putting in 5 kilos of that, a big bucket from the off if I was there. If I kept on fishing that same area of reservoir, boom, I'd be trying to draw them in. I would make that my feature. Failing that, if you don't really get enough time, early morning, late at night, after dark, I'll be trying to find out where them fish are. Depends how much effort you want to put in. Sometimes, just like me, I just want to chill out. I don't want to be running around the lake at 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. Getting too old for all that. So, and look, cast singles at them wherever you can. December social, I'm up for that. John's up for that. I'll have to have a look for that, I think, then. My syndicate's barbarous. You lose as much as you can. There you go. Graham says, when I glug my pop-ups for a few months, they lose their buoyancy. What do you do? See, that's the thing. The best pop-ups, I'm not just saying this, guys. I'm not just saying this. It just depends on what glug you put on them. You try not to put heavy glugs on them. The best pop-ups for buoyancy, for keeping their buoyancy, Northern Specials. CC More pop-ups are the best. Honestly, I'm not just saying that. There may be other companies out there, but I don't know for buoyancy. I know because a lot of the guys who fish are consultants for some of these other companies. They use the CC More ones, the Northern Specials. And they flavour them up themselves and colour them up, all that type of stuff. But for keeping the buoyancy, the Northern Specials. Buy a pot of those, white ones, or whatever colour. Then put your goos on them, or put whatever you want to put on them. Put your sweeteners on them, and I tell you what, they will still be popped up. You can't put things like them type of pop-ups, things like liver and all that type of stuff, because it's too heavy for them. But yeah, just give those. Sorry, I'm just looking. Sorry, my phone just went. I just see a message on there about to take my van in to get a clutch done tomorrow. Bloody hell, got to have the clutch done on the van. But yeah, check out. Get yourself one pot of Northern Specials. Put your glugs on there. I've never had one that sunk. Never had one that sunk. They've always done me proud. So yeah, have a look at those, Graham. And don't forget, Graham, if you're a member of the Catch More Carp, you get a 10% discount on all CC More products. It's a no-brainer, isn't it? Andy said, what size Burco's best? I think I've got biggest one you can get, really, but you don't want to go too, man. I think mine's a... what does it say? If you go on the Catch More Carp website, it will give you the products. On those Burco videos, you'll have the products down there. You'll be able to go to eBay and to Amazon. It'll take you directly onto there with the one that I've got. I think it's a 50 litre, to be fair. I'm sure it's 50 litres. But go and have a click on it. Go and have a look. Hi Leon, will you be at the Northwest Carp Show in November? I don't think I will be. I might be, but at the moment I'm not booked in for that one. I'm going to be at the Essex Show, and I shall be at the Big One Show again. I may try and get up to the Northwest Carp Show. All depends, but I'm going to try and get up there because I know a lot of you guys would love to see me up there. And I haven't been up there for 2 or 3 years now. And it's a new one. It's a new venue, isn't it? So I may well come up there. Christopher said, yes, I'm going for the social if possible, Leon. Bloody hell, it looks like I might have to look into a December one. Might it? Bloody hell. Ed said, normal special one pop-ups and wafters are awesome. But we've got some new wafters coming out, have we? Is it the... They've got some new... I think they're out I think they're out tomorrow. Not normal special, but hook-bait wafters. So for your Triple X, for your Pacific Tuna, for your live system, they've got wafters now, yellow, whites, pinks. So the new wafters that are coming out, the little dumbbell wafters in those colours are coming out across the range. I think tomorrow. Carp Freaks are super buoyant, stay away all day. Yes, because they are normal. CC Moore make those obviously from the same mix as the normal special, so that's why. Andy says thanks for have a look. That's at the Burco. Look at this 10-2. I'll do a December one as well, guys. Put down below, we've got 10 minutes to go. Put down below if you'd be interested in doing a 48-hour social, okay, on something like East Del Flakes or A1 Pit or something like that. Just like one of our socials, 150 quid, whatever, something like that, whatever it is, with food included for the Saturday. Let me know down below if you would like to. If you'd like to go on one of these socials. And I'll see if we've got 10, 15 people. I'll try and find a really good venue to book one up for December. I didn't think anyone would be interested. Too cold on that. Look, bloody hell, we got 1, 2, make it to 8th of December. Yeah, we'll try and make it mid-December. Problem is with December, I've got all my daughters on that. It's all their birthdays then, and my mother, and oh god. So yeah, it might be late November or mid-December. Social in December. There's Louis Armin, 1, 2, trying to corner, 1, 2, 3, 4. I might have to organise it. I think we might have to. Yeah, I think we might have to do that, mightn't we? Sounds good to me. Right, leave that one with me then. I shall get on that social, December social. I don't think anyone would be interested, to be fair. But yeah, probably mid-December. How does mid-December sort of say? Like around about 14th or 15th, something like that. About a week, 10 days before Christmas. Oh, this is crazy, isn't it? This is mad. Absolutely mad. Right. John Furflock, I'll be a social mid-late November, December. December's good. After December social, I like go, bloody hell. Look at that. I've got about 20 people already. Oh, God. That means I'm going to have to organise something now, aren't I? Oh, my God. Let me see. Let's have a look what we could do. Let me think. Christmas carp would be lovely, wouldn't it? A nice roast or something for, like, not barbecue, but like the hog roast was really good, wasn't it? Maybe something like that. Hog roast would be, oh, Christmas hog roast. Nice break before Xmas madness. Hardcore anglers we are. Black McGray, we're mad, Andy, to say that. 20 swim lake is fair. Sounds like that. 20 swim lake. Bloody hell, I'm going to have to find somewhere 20 swims now. Bloody hell. Right, yeah, leave it with me. Right, any more? You just pick up my brain, guys. I wasn't expecting that. What? Have we got any more questions, queries, anything, carp fishing, autumn fishing, socials, anything like that? And otherwise, I'm going to have an early 8 minutes because I'm absolutely sweating my nuts off here. And if there's no more questions or queries or anything, then I'm going to go and have a nice cold drink, sit with Mrs. B, watch the telly, and yeah, get ready for taking the van in for a clutch tomorrow. Xmas hog roast, that could be the one, John, couldn't it? Xmas hog roast, leave it with me. Although the bloody hog roast would be bloody expensive, wouldn't it? But we'll see. Might Eve, I tell you where we might go. How about Norton Disney again? I bet Norton Disney, one of their lakes. That might be a good one, mightn't it? Don't know though, barbless. Let me try and have a look. Let me try and find out. One. I might have something else up my sleeve as well. Somewhere which has never been fished on a social before. We may be able to get something on that. We may be able. Norton's a good shout. Yes, Norton be good, but we're going to get bites, aren't we? That's the thing. We want bites. We want a bit of fun. We want to keep warm as well as the social and that. Norton could be good. Maybe not Turner's again. Although I did like Turner's, to be fair. I may put it out as a post on the Catch My Carp close Facebook group as for suggestions. Okay. Or actually, we've got 5 minutes left, haven't we? Let me know here now. We might as well use this time. Billy's like, oh, that could be a good one, Terry, couldn't it? Let me know where you'd possibly some suggestions for doing the social December. Okay, about mid-December, couple of weeks before Christmas. Where do you think you'd like to? Only problem with that, Ronnie, we got to book it. You see. Put up a poll on Facebook. Unfortunately, Ed Sanders has got a winter syndicate on it this year, so we won't be able to do that in February. There's somewhere else that I might be able to do it. That I'm not sure the owners will let us do it though. That's the only thing. They might do. They might well do, but we shall have to see. We shall have to see. Norton be okay. Norton Sanders. Unfortunately not Sanders. But I will put a poll up. Bluebell any chance? Not sure. I'd love to go. I've never fished. Sorry, I have fished Bluebell about 25 years ago. Lost one on a barber sook, I think. Bluebell could be a good one, but it's so busy. Thing is, you have to book these out. It might be a little bit late. Don't know. We'll see. Let me do some investigating, some calling round, and we'll see what we can do. But Norton, I reckon we could probably get away with up there. But there's somewhere else I want to have a little find out about first, and see if we can book there. Manor at Linear, yeah, that could be another good one, something like that. Darren, that could be, couldn't it? Leave it with me, guys. Anyway, I'll have a little think, but yep, I'll definitely get something organised for that. Yeah, that'd be a good one, wouldn't it? An Xmas social. Right, guys, I'm going to love you, leave you. Please, 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 don't forget. Oxley's could be good. I'm up there next week. Please, 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 do not forget that the sun is very, very hot. Factor 50 degrees, please. Please, ladies and gentlemen. And enjoy the weekend otherwise. And I'll see you next Thursday. I think next Thursday we will be live from the bank. Yes, live from the Woolpack. Quite possibly, not sure yet. But we could be having a live one from the Woolpack next Thursday. So tune in, guys. I think that one will be just for Catch My Carp subscribers though. So not too sure. Guys, thanks for tuning in, showing your support as always. Lots of love from me and mine to you and yours. Have a great Thursday, the rest of it. And have a great weekend. And see you soon. And I'll let you know about the social.